Hello, I'm Joseph Chris Photography, and this is Travels with Zorki. Thank you for watching and for all the new subscribers to this channel. Truly appreciate that. That's awesome. And appreciate if you would comment and tell your friends who are into vintage cameras about Travels with Zorki. As you might have known from my last video, I recently purchased a Zorki 4. This is a 1970 vintage Zorki. And maybe unbelievable, maybe sad, I have yet to put a roll of film into this camera, and I'll tell you why in just a second. For those who don't know what this is, this is a roll of T-Max 400. It is 35 millimeter film, and this is what goes into our vintage 35 millimeter film cameras. Now, I've had 3 mystery rolls of 35 millimeter film laying around on my desk for, well, literally for years, and I finally got around to getting those developed. Thing is, I didn't want to shoot another roll of film until I got those 3 processed, so I could kind of figure out what was what and where these rolls of film came from. And I'm glad that I did. So I started my photography career with film, shot film for many years, and then went to digital like most of us. I worked for some mini labs developing film, the 1-hour processing type labs, and it was just like everyday thing to bring a couple rolls of film in, or a whole baggie full of film after your vacation, and having us process it for you and print it, doing the 4x6 prints, and that was everyday occurrence. Now, trying to find a place that will process your film, there is very few places that will do it or do it correctly. One of the problems with getting film processed is, well, you might be able to take it down to your corner Walgreens or CV, whatever that pharmacy chain is, and they'll take your film. They'll give you an envelope, you put your exposed film in, and you put it in the slot, and then eventually it'll show back up. But the thing that I found out, and thankfully before it was too late, is that a lot of these labs, they don't send your negatives back to you. You never get your film negatives back after you process the film. And this is just unbelievable. I'm glad I didn't drop my film into the slot there at Walgreens until I found out the details. They'll put your images, they'll scan your images onto a CD, which to me seems like kind of antiquated technology, especially when you can upload your film and upload scans to an FTP site, or you can get them emailed to you, or what have you. So that was strike number 2 for them. Plus the cost was prohibitive, and I've never been a fan of, like Walmart or Walgreens, those type of drugstore processing places. So what I did do is got an account now with the Darkroom. They're in San Clemente, California, in the Central Coast region. Set up an account, you pay online, you send your film in, and they give you the prepaid mailing label and ship it down to them. They will give you a confirmation when your film arrives. They give you an email when your film has been processed and when everything has been uploaded to a site where you can take a look at the scans from your film. And then, get this, they send you back your negatives, or if you have prints done. I just had, since I didn't know what these rolls were, just had them process it and scan them at the lowest scan resolution, just to see what the heck was on them. So I just received my scanned images from those rolls. They emailed me that the film negative strips were on their way back to me, and I will share a few of them with you. They weren't obviously taken with this Zorki 4, and a couple of them are from several years ago. And I don't remember what camera I was shooting because I know we had digital, but I might have been using this camera, which is the good old Electro 35 from Yashica. And I still have some film in this camera, and that's another reason why I haven't started a roll of film in the Zorki, because I want to get the pictures off of this roll before and then start out clean with the Zorki, so there's no question of where the pictures are coming from, since I kind of have a bad memory on what pictures I'm taking. So the mystery films, it's always been the thing with 35 millimeter or any type of film. You shoot the pictures and then you keep your fingers crossed that everything was going to turn out. Even as a professional newspaper photographer, it was always, I hope I nailed my exposures. I hope I nailed my focus on these things, because they're going to have to be on the front page of tomorrow's paper. And it's the same thing now. You shoot film and you keep your fingers crossed that you did everything right or the camera worked right. And I like to share a couple of the images, these film images that I got from these old rolls of film. And let's take a look at those right now. So as you see in these images, they're not perfect images by any state of the imagination, but they are perfectly unique and perfectly have that look of film, and so many of us are trying to achieve that with our digital cameras, and basically you just can't do that like film can. So I hope you enjoyed those. Like I said, I think they were off of my Yashica Electro 35, but I'm not 100% sure. And I can't think of any other 35 millimeter cameras that I might have taken with me on that trip. One of the most gut-wrenching ones was, of course, that one of the empty wheelchair. That was my mom's wheelchair since she was confined to that in her last years. So that has great meaning. And of course, shooting out on film was an interesting decision, I think, on that. So now I have the Zorki that I am looking forward to using. Now, I have purchased a few accessories for my Zorki, even though I haven't even used it yet. One of them, as you probably can see, is this metal lens hood. 40.5 is the filter size. I also purchased a yellow filter for when I'm shooting black and white. Yellow filter, good for adding slight contrast to black and white film. That looks nice. One thing I was worried about is whether or not this hood would be in the way of changing the aperture, but it is not. And the nice thing is that when you focus this lens, the whole lens doesn't spin. I was looking at getting a square hood, but they cost more than what I spent for the camera. So we'll just hold off on that. This is nice. I think that's going to work out good. Looking through the viewfinder, just see just a slight edge of this in the viewfinder, but it's not very noticeable unless you're really looking. So I think that's going to work out good. And also, as you might know if you're a Zorki aficionado, that there are no camera strap lugs on these bodies. And after doing some research and reading what some of the Zorki experts had to say, the camera strap lugs on these bodies disappeared after 1966. So this being a 1970 vintage, obviously they are not on there. So because I like carrying a camera on a strap, either around my neck or over my shoulder, I had to find a reasonably priced, ever-ready camera case for this, and I ordered one, and it is on its way slowly, but apparently it's getting here from in the European Union. I think it was Poland. A lot of the accessories for this camera, a lot of the bodies and lenses are in the Ukraine. So if you're ordering like off of eBay, I expect to have a length of time for shipping, going through customs and things like that. Lens hood, the filter off of Amazon like everybody else. So with all that said, I appreciate you again watching the videos and liking and subscribing. Of course, to subscribe, it doesn't cost you any money. There's no obligation. It just shows me that you're interested in my channel and that you're willing to help promote it. And be sure to tell your friends who are into vintage cameras like this Zorki, or the Yashica, or old Nikons and things like that. I didn't bring out my old Photonic F Nikon, but that thing is definitely a lot heavier than this. So this will be a joy to carry around and shoot film on. So thanks again. Be sure to subscribe and like and comment, and I will talk to you soon with more travels with Zorki. Thanks again.